welcome back. We're going to continue our discussion on a brand new material, and that's alcohols and phenols. Even though I'd say it's brand new material, we have learned how to create some of these back in Chem 330, but we were doing it in the context of what happens when you do certain things to a double bond or triple bond. We're kind of extending the same idea here, but instead of the double bond, we're now focusing our attention on alcohols and the phenols themselves. Right? So the objective of this series of sequence of videos is we're going to learn a variety of methods on how to synthesize alcohols and phenols. And if you plan to take any standardized exam outside of this class, which involves chemistry or organic chemistry to be specific, the content we learned on aldehydes and ketones, alcohols and phenols, you can expect a lot of questions from those areas just because there's a lot of things that we encounter in our daily lives contains an alcohol or a phenolic group or aldehyde or ketone. So it's important that you really know how to answer the questions in the previous content videos related to aldehydes and ketones, and on these sequence of videos on alcohols and phenols. And then once we learn how to synthesize alcohols and phenols, we would learn how to use those compounds to make other compounds, right? For now, we're only going to focus on objective A, and once we are thoroughly through with objective A, I will make more videos to address objective B. All right. So without further delay, let's talk about some foundational things on the topic of alcohols and phenols. They both share some commonality, but they also share a difference. So what are the commonalities? So they both contain a OH group. So, well, there's a reason why they're given different names is alcohols and phenols. They both contain an OH group, so you can see I've highlighted them both. Okay. Now the top one is the alcohol, the bottom one is a phenol, which is actually the difference between an alcohol and a phenol. Alcohol, the OH group is attached to a straight or branched carbon chain. For convenience, I've only shown the straight chain. You can also have a branch chain like this. It doesn't matter whether it's branched or straight chain. The fact of the matter is the OH group is not attached to a benzene ring. Okay, I've highlighted the straight chain portion of the carbon chain. And then phenols, the OH group is attached to a benzene ring. You can see it's the same compound on both sides. The commonality is they both contain an OH group. The difference is alcohols typically where the OH group is attached to a carbon in a straight chain or branch chain. I have shown you the branched and also the straight chain version. Okay, phenols, this itself is known as a phenol. That's it, that's the name of the compound. Okay, you can have derivatives of a phenol like trinitrophenol, you know, things of that nature, but the foundation is this is a benzene ring right here. So if an OH group is attached to a benzene ring, that's a phenol. If the OH group is not attached to a benzene ring but attached to anywhere else that involves a carbon chain, either straight or branched, this is a straight, and I've also shown a branch chain, then that's an alcohol. Right? That's very simple. Now, along these lines, I also want to point out something that I've been mentioning a few times, and I honestly still don't know how many of you are struggling with that. Okay, you have primary alcohol, okay, which is primary OH, and then you have secondary OH, and then tertiary. Unfortunately, there is no quaternary for alcohols. A primary alcohol is OH is attached to a carbon containing 2 hydrogens, okay? Now, this could be anything else, but the OH is directly attached to a carbon containing two hydrogens. A secondary is the OH is attached to a carbon containing one hydrogen. The remaining two bonds could be anything else. The fact of the matter is we're only focusing on the carbon containing the OH, and this has one hydrogen. This has two hydrogens. And a tertiary, obviously, is carbon containing the OH contains no hydrogens. Okay, again, I've repeatedly been doing this. You can get as good as you can with remembering chemical reactions, but if you don't understand these foundational things, you're going to always have that problem area where I really don't know what is causing me from not doing the problem right, but there's something. It is that something is these kind of details. The details, the devil's in the detail of the work, and you have to understand that at some point either you memorize it or just get used to it, that these are the various type of alcohols. Okay, phenol, it's always going to be only tertiary because the chances of it ever having secondary or primary phenol is impossible. It can only be tertiary, but alcohols themselves can be primary, secondary, or tertiary. All right, so these are some of the basic introductory information that I want you to have about alcohols and phenols. Now I can go on, making another 10 videos on this, but I feel this is good enough. So I'm going to stop the introductory portion of what an alcohol and a phenol is here, and then I'm in the next sequence of videos, they're all going to be addressing objective A, which is we're going to learn how to synthesize alcohol and phenols. Now there's two things. I think the videos I'll be uploading today would be on alcohols, and the videos I'll upload tomorrow would be on phenols. Okay. All right, so stay tuned.